Fellas, this is where I feel like here's where it really starts.
Yeah. This is actually the birthplace.
This is the birthplace of your car getting bounced.
Yeah. It's my introduction into drifting.
I feel like Kerry used to always say, you had a bounce to learn. You ever tell you that? You ever tell you that?
Nah, it was always, even if you bounce, you go back.
I feel like, I remember when I had hit, because it's right here, I hit the RX, the ball joint break, and he's like, you get it? I was like, what do you mean I get it? A bounce. He's like, nah, that's what you need.
Yeah, you see,
that's what you had to do.
When you shake off that first bounce, that's when you get the jitters out. I mean, I bounced over there. I lost it and rubbed down the wall, and I heard me run away from here because I don't know, we was paranoid. Because nobody was watching us.
So well, I was home, but I remember when he came home and told me, hey, DW is the way, boy. He would have talked about you, he told me he was with you.
Yeah, because I just get PAY 90 200SX, automatic C18, bone stop. And when I carry away, I'm getting this steering thing at all. They're like, alright, come, you go by the school. Did it once, twice, 3 times, get a little cocky, and say, I'll go wide. Going wide is more steering angle. And then I didn't realize that that's that point of no return.
Yeah.
I reached that point of no return, cross it, and the front just bite straight into the wall. Straight into the wall. And from there we went to Miami, and we were just talking like, nah, we had to do this a little more official. And Simmons ended up coming up, and he said, boy, new world order. And then Kerry Watchman said, nah, drift world order. We said, all right, that was it.
What year? That was?
That would have had to be...
That was 06? 06 or 07?
Yeah, that could have been 06.
Yeah,
06.
Yeah, that's 06.
Yeah, 06.
But before, let me say before 06. Okay, you know what I'm remembering? I was remembering JK Entertainment.
Yeah. Ooh, Junior.
Like, I feel like, because that was before, that would be before the 86.
Yeah.
Junior was before the 86.
Let me tell you that story. I don't know if anybody ever heard the story, right? You remember Ben, the snake?
Yeah.
He used to carry that to work, right?
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere he used to carry
At time, I remember he carried to work, and he's like, KJ boy, the snake killer bat boy. I was like, how the king saw that? The king see the bat and I just it's like, alright, cool. I out there playing with the snake, and me, you know why I do to agitate the snake bite me off. And he had J-Cap. And boy, that's the quickest I reached our doctor. That was the quickest I reached our doctor. Like, I think all he had only venom.
Yeah.
With the adrenaline, that probably super quick. But I time I reached the doctor, like, I was good. I was like, real nervous and cool sweating. But before that, you would have had your 86 at the time.
Yeah, well, here how it started with that whole 86 thing, right? So, I was looking for a car to buy because I didn't have transport, I had to go to work, stuff like that. And back then, everybody on Box Lancer, BLM Sunny.
Drag days.
Yeah, drag days.
Drag man days.
Or Civic, right? Small light. So, I looking for something cheap and come across, I remember this guy, not Rooks, but they get somebody who's tuned by Rooks.
Right.
Right? Because Rooks was up in La Puerta side.
Yeah.
Right? I think a Super Tune was there. And he had a 86.
Yeah.
And I remember I was like, wait, that's an 86.
Yeah.
So I saw I end up going through like St. Augustine. And I saw 86. And I was like, alright, end up buying it, whatever. And I went down to go-karting.
Yeah.
Nobody knew what an 86 was. And I just see this person wearing that orange Marshall jersey. Come and like, yo, you see like if his best friend?
Yeah.
Yo, you see this? Yeah. This thing's sweet boy. And what? And I just like I meet you at Gran Turismo.
Yeah.
Yeah. With Calvin, yeah. And he went off on 86. He's like, yeah, I wanted one, whatever. Alright, so he had my number. And since that day, we used to talk like every day.
Yeah.
And then he called me and was like, hey, I get one. Like, you get one. A man put up by doubles, man, but I was eating doubles.
But that's story, I remember that.
Yeah.
And I was like, alright. So he shows up, this POS 86, next to my POS 86,
Yeah.
and it's just like, we're gonna get parts of this, but we're gonna strip it, but why we buy this thing, buy these things?
Cause that time that was like banjo.
Yeah.
There wasn't getting no suspension for that, so everything was difficult at that time,
Yeah.
because obviously that time was front wheel was ruling the game at that time, because of all them everybody who drag racing and stuff. But what would have been the first experience for DW or that Oli would have shared?
One of the first ones we had as DW was probably that same Ineos event.
Yeah, when he was going to the ARC.
ARC?
Yeah. So they told us to come and partner with Ineos, and by the time we reach up, Kerry was like, nah, they're getting on shipping. You're going to Malabar. I was like, alright. And that is how we actually ended up in Malabar. We had 3 cones. We had 3 classic cones that used to go everywhere with us.
Yeah.
So to make it look official, we poured the cones and we started blocking all the entrances.
Right, yeah.
To make it appear to be official,
Yeah.
you know?
That would have been the day he had just the 280 one?
That was the day,
yes.
not 280, 26.
260.
It was a kind of green. It was a kind of,
260 with
With
a
a bench seat.
25. Yeah,
Vinyl bench seats.
vinyl bench seats, yeah.
Because I remember him coming around like this. And he was down inside the car.
Down.
Oh, right? And when he flicked it back, right? We kind of lost him. And then he realized that he actually stopped. I'm like, why stop? Because I was just rolling, because he slid out his seat.
And up in the passenger side.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Sunday.
Yeah, I remember that day.
Sunday.
And I feel like from there it had just progressed into the event. I remember the event where like Roger had bring out the Alteza and like Dirk.
Oh, that was Extreme Machines.
That was Extreme Machines?
Yeah. Extreme Machines was...
That was when I first met Roger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember the day, as you talk about that, I think I remember the day when he had just played in the J in the Altez and he had come and check. Yeah? And as I say that, I remember the day when we was doing over, when we had just do Quasi suspension in his estate.
Don't talk about that.
That is the day, like I feel like that was the day, like, yeah, because
you get in real trouble.
yeah, because at that time I feel like the 86 had reached probably like 80% of the bill. Like the engine was good, turbo was good. I know he was getting issues with the wastegate.
Right. The body was right, but back in those days, it wasn't like I need a cage.
Yeah.
Right? So back in them days, it was like, what's engine good? Gearbox good?
Yeah.
Diff good? Right? Suspension. I think he had welded up some S13 camera plates and everything.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know where he got it from. He was the only person like, where get it from? And he tell me some story.
Some story with somebody and
A bunch of axles,
Yeah.
a bunch of axles bust on that.
Yeah. And he went. So that night, right? It was Quasi, Madame
Solomon was there.
Solomon. That's Kerry.
Kerry
Yes,
Solomon.
Kerry
Yeah.
Solomon.
It was you,
I was there.
Tabari.
I was there.
I'm missing somebody.
Was it Dana?
Nah, Dana
No,
wasn't there.
Dana wasn't there.
That next
Remember
time.
that somebody
Next
else was
time.
there, no?
Somebody else was there.
Somebody else was there.
Kerry, you, me,
Because it was like 6 cars.
Yeah, it was about 6 cars. I want to say Adel in the bar. I don't think. It was sure it was crazy.
It wasn't Kwesi. Kwesi went home.
Oh.
Because we work on putting on those brakes, and he was just standing up there, and like we grind and grind and grind, and like everybody take a turn to grind. Now they
everybody take a turn.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody take a turn.
And by the time we were done, he's like, hey, go and try it. And he went and he tried to bring it back. And he's like, yeah, it's working. All right, go home. And as soon as he left, everybody was just like, woo.
That was it,
Finally, boy.
Yeah.
Because everybody was dirty. It was like, what, after 12?
It was
after 12.
It was. I feel like it was later than that, but
yeah.
for some weird reason, it had a roadblock on the highway.
Well, no. Well, to begin with, Kerry was parked up outside.
Right.
And he was like, boy, I just go and raise my head and come back. So, jump in his car, went on the road, and he hear any wastegate opening outside. He said, hey, he's spinning the car outside. And he come back real quick. He said, yeah, but that feel good. I think I'm going back, yes? And he went back again.
Yeah.
And then he came back and he's like, I'm going back again, but I'm going for a drive.
Yeah.
And he was in, I think he still had on the
light.
light,
The light, yeah.
And he jumped in the car
Yeah,
and he drove off.
They're not drawers though.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
They're not boxers.
They're not boxers.
They're not boxers.
Yeah, they're a white shirt, but
A
that
white
was
shirt.
wrong by now. He drove off. Tabari ball. You go in? I go in. Right? And by the time I look around, I realize, wait now, it's only me staying back here. I'm making sense. They go and see. So, come out of here. I can't remember where we passed. What's that side?
Now we pass here.
No, I feel like we passed here.
Catch him going up.
Oh, okay. So he was blazing, and then we all ran down the road behind him.
Yeah.
But it was like 1 o'clock, so road clear.
Clear.
And when he reached the triangle, everybody pulled aside. And he said I'd go around the triangle. But the thing is, I pulled up the same time he was coming around. So I was just like, in his way. So I popped to go around the triangle.
Yeah.
And the two of us ended up going around the triangle. Right? And he take off. Yeah, he take off, I take off. And then a man ran off from the bar. I was just like, wait a minute, mad boy! And then he saw there was a whole line going
Whole line up the road. Swing off by Chin City.
Yeah.
Swing off by Chin City. Went to the mall. I think they had now finished the roundabout.
Yeah, because we went around the roundabout.
Went around the roundabout quite a few times.
Yeah.
And then issue with his car. Because I remember we stopped.
The throttle.
It was in the wastegate that pop off?
Basically the throttle.
I feel like it to me was it throttle?
Yeah.
Something had stick.
The throttle.
The cable was too long.
The cable was too long, yeah. So something with it stick. So we actually stopped, like if we go down merge on the main road.
But the hazard lights on.
Hazard lights on. So all the cars there.
Yeah.
Then we realized, right, there's a problem. So we went onto the main road and just pull aside. I think of a car parts place there now or something.
Is that a pharmacy there now?
Right. So everybody pulled aside there. The 6 cars line off.
Was it just after a bridge?
Nah, it wasn't that far.
Okay.
It was right after the first street. And so everybody came out. Kerry had the headlight on, his bonnet open, so everybody head down. And my experience was, I remember hearing like a vehicle, some diesel, driving hard. I was like, it's alright. I didn't see nothing. Head back down in the bonnet. When I look up again, I saw a white and a grey Terracan was the name of that van. I'll never forget. A white and grey Terracan. Pass, whoosh!
Terracan.
And stop across the main road in front of us. So he was like,
There's that one.
You saw?
Yeah.
Then when we look back down, no Terracans. White and grey, and they all stopped.
Yeah.
These lovely gentlemen in white shirts.
Navy blue shirt pants.
Navy blue pants.
The little,
black tie.
Oh yes.
The little Form 6.
Yes. Black tie. And you know what shocked me that night? That was the first night I saw them with bulletproof vests and weapons.
Yeah.
I was like, OMG. I cannot believe this is what we're seeing here. And I think the person, they just came, they started like, everybody
Switch those vehicles off.
switch those vehicles off, license, insurance, open your bonnet. So by that time my knees buckling, I'm like, okay, cool.
You were stripping your tent.
No, we jump out yet.
The other Kerry, he was parked up on top of the pavement.
On top of the pavement.
Oh.
So he stopped and then his car was set up for H. And he had a P
P license.
Oh.
So everybody started to get bumpy. So
Bummy.
the time I opened my bonnet, the man was like, hey, you, take off that tent. I'm like, no problem, sir. I started to pull up my tent. When I pull up the tent, they went up. Then it had a crowd around Kerry.
Yeah. No. First begin with.
No, like I feel like they started from the back and like they was going, they was coming up.
Forward, yeah.
Because all I remember is when he opened his bonnet.
Everybody
and
there.
And everybody crowd around.
And then there was a growing car. This light break.
And then, what's the officer name, man?
Drake.
Drake's appeared out of nowhere. Well, I guess he was in the mix. And he just passed and he said, hey. Call for 6 records. Well, at that point, my knees buckled. I could have rolled on the ground and cry. He's like, yeah, we're getting 6 records for these cars, but ain't going nowhere.
Meanwhile, this is KJ on this little corner, and he peeling off his tent, but just going tick.
Yeah.
I had done like crack my glass and crack my glass down. I don't see he should be the tent. Because remember the 11 had a heavy tent.
Yeah.
Open up the sunroof, I was like, yeah, I think I see all of them get a shot. By that time I don't pull up my phone because I see in tricks, eh? And I was like, but you know when I'm in the heat, I'm in studying who's who now.
Who's who, didn't care.
So I was like, and Kerry was like, what you call it? I was like, I call him daddy. He's like, where home call? It's like, that is Drake's boy, but Drake's don't remember his face. It's like, just no, not trying to give him to daddy. Cause I know he was up when we had to leave home.
Yeah, he was up.
And I was like, hey, so we get stuff from police and I see Drake's here. You had Drake's number? And he's like, When I was back in my days, I never used to get catch. Hang up the phone and I see Drake's get a call. And I remember he was like, all they was gonna drip in the police station tonight. All they lucky, all they get away. And
I remember daddy coming.
yeah, well, yeah.
You're not pulling up, you're like, right, all you follow him.
Yeah.
And daddy said, all you come. He said, people that's pay me big money to come out my bed this hour. Follow me home.
We got a whole lecture sit down by the fence.
Yeah.
And we got a whole lecture by the fence.
6 hours, just sit down there.
Hey, well, I mean, it would always have, they have a million stories. And hopefully, by piece we could try to go through it
Yeah.
as much as possible. But I mean, thanks to pass and give my vibes. Bye. And DW forever.
DW for life?
DW for life.
Triple order day.
Yeah.